Hey everybody, Manny Garavito here for the Miami Networking Podcast, and I'm here joined with a very good friend of mine that I met at a networking event over at the Red Bar in Brickell. This is John Solorzano.
What's up? How's it going, guys? Jonathan over here.
Speak a little closer to the mic.
Oh,
Remember, yours is
whoopsie.
broken.
See?
So the equipment that we have here is a little amateurish, but we're trying to be as portable as possible here because we are at a shared workspace. And I wanted to interview John because John is someone that just recently moved to Miami.
Yep.
And he's looking to make an impact here. What do you define as an impact, or where do you see yourself making a difference in this brand new city? Like, where did you come from, and what changes are you planning on making?
Yeah, so I'm from New York, and coming from New York, I guess, it's a huge city, so you can go your whole life without knowing your neighbors. But for me, I guess your question is, what is impact? I think for me, the impact comes with communities. And that's why I was so drawn to the Miami networking and drawn to you, because I'm noticing that the communities is where impact can be made. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think in order for you to make an impact, people have to believe what you have to say, and it has to be very valuable for them. And sometimes you need a group of people that are at least willing to give you the time to see what your message is about.
Yeah, and I think impacts are not made. I don't think one person makes an impact. I think that that's really narcissistic, and behind every successful person, you'll notice that there's a strong team or a strong group of people that helped them get to where they were. And that's why I think that the community is it's like the core of impact. And that's why we've been talking about Miami networking, talking about the community here.
I actually believe impact is kind of like a chain reaction, not just caused by one person, but a whole group of people. Especially when they have a common shared goal, which John and I do share very much, because John, you're also full of ideas. You know opportunities when you see it. You're that kind of person that you see it and you know what to do with it and how to run with it, and all the ideas come to mind as you go along.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a muscle. I think that I've been exercising this muscle since I graduated college, and now I'm getting better at recognizing opportunities. When I was younger, I would jump at every opportunity, and you kind of stub your toe a lot. You get you make a lot of mistakes. You jump into the wrong things with the wrong people, or you think that there's an opportunity somewhere when then you go in and find out like, oh shoot, there's really nothing there. So I think now, from running my own business and stubbing my toe enough, I'm like, okay, I know where these opportunities are.
Yeah, I think with experience in business especially, you're able to expedite assessing opportunities, what's a waste of time, what's worth the investment. All these things kind of is like a skill you build over the years. And I gotta admit, a lot of opportunities are coming out, especially in these days, because this is a field that you're in. Technology is growing at an exponential rate. And because it's growing at an exponential rate, things are just popping up. You can do this, you can do that, you can join this, you can be a part of that, you can change this, right?
Yeah. I think I was showing you that book, The Key Person of Influence. I think that opportunities are now coming up because things are so niche. People can find they can find their group, their tribe, their community with a Google search, or on Reddit or a forum. And I think that that's such a big deal, because before the internet, you think about people you didn't know where the people that were listening to rock hung out. Maybe you needed to go to a rock concert, make friends there, and then network. But now you can go on Reddit and figure it out. You can go on Google and figure it out.
Information is just at a snap of your fingers, or a click on the mouse.
I love it, man. I mean, you asked me about my business, and I have a team of 9 developers, and we all work remote, but we're like a family. We communicate every day. We get on the phone. It's like. And this connection's all made online, and this would have never been possible without technology. So I'm a big proponent for that.
So a lot of people actually reach out to you and your team to get a lot of business ideas out there on the internet. You pretty much make business ideas flourish.
I think, I guess the right way is people. So we do software development, right? And I think that people are filled with ideas, but usually when people come to me, I kind of like with a software idea or an app idea, it's usually really not well thought out. I think the right way is I guess I give people a roadmap on how a software idea, because everyone has an app idea, right? Everyone has that uncle. It's like, oh, I can build this app. And then, you know,
we're kind of $1 million idea, man.
So I think what we do is we kind of bring it down to earth and make it into executable steps. And then you know, some people don't like that. People want to be living on the moon, but I think that if you make it into executable steps, you come up with a MVP, a minimum viable product, you have a successful business.
What are some important factors when you come across these business ideas that a lot of business owners or would-be business owners need to look into to see if the business can fly, if it'll be successful or not?
I think a lot of people are trying to solve their own issue. I think that if you center the business with solving the customer's issue, you have a business. And I think about how my business it started taking off, right? When I was just looking to make money for myself, I wasn't solving anyone's problems, right?
Very true.
And now, when I started making money, is there, you know, agencies that do marketing, that sell development, they have a ton of problems. And once I started solving them for them, where I reliably offer, like I fix their problems, they're willing to pay me handsomely, right? So I think when somebody comes to me and they're like, I have this great app idea, or hey, I want to build this software, it's like, okay, well, is it solving the problem of your customer? Let's start with the customer first, and then reverse engineer what's supposed to be. Instead of just like, I can make $1 million with this idea.
By solving my own problem.
Exactly.
You know, it's the same thing with marketing, to be honest. One thing I've learned about marketing is a lot of people kind of want to describe their business the way they see it, instead of describing it the way the customer would see it. And one of the blessings that you get running a business and bringing other people involved, especially whether it's a marketer or someone that develops your technology, is you have an outsider looking in to your idea. And then with that outsider's perspective, not knowing anything about what you do, what the talent is, what the benefits are, or that you think the benefits are. If an outsider looks at your work and doesn't understand it, then you already have a red flag that the idea is probably not going to work.
Exactly. And I think if you're in this technology world, a lot of developers have, before they ever write a line of code, they go out and they validate their idea. So let's say I want to build an app for construction companies because they can't manage their, it's hard for them to manage their contractors. Like, the best way to validate that idea is find 10 contracting companies and ask them if this would be valuable for them and if they would pay for it. And if out of those 10, half of them say yes, you might have a good business idea. It might be worth start writing that code, right? At the same time, you're also asking them, what are the problems? Maybe the problems you thought were the problems are not. So yeah, in the software research, in the software world, that's called validating your idea. And yeah, I think
even in the marketing world. So one of the things I do before I even launch a website is I run a quick survey, and I find Facebook niches. Like, for example, if I were to run a calendar of events in Miami, I would just start a type form, and I would ask questions like, where do you find your events? Is it through Eventbrite? Is it through Facebook? Is it through Instagram? And you'd be surprised at the kinds of well, another thing would want to add out there is make it descriptive. Don't make it multiple choice if you do like a survey, because the words they use to describe how they find their solution or how they would want their solution to be can give you some great copy on how to extrapolate your information and give it out to the world. So, for example, MiamiCalendar.com, which we briefly spoke about, a lot of people out there don't know a good website to find events, or at least in a very organized way.
Right.
And most of the people out there, they find events through Facebook event pages and the word of mouth. Like, they look at things like how many people are attending, is it popular enough, is the flyer at least, did they invest money on the design of the flyer, or is it like some run-of-the-mill? So, okay, so I think this is actually a great tidbit. You have somebody that develops products and somebody that markets it, and the number one factor that you got to do in order to validate your business idea is to find out if other people see it the exact same way you do. And the best way you can do that is by surveying people within that field. Yeah,
I think, and I think not even if you're just thinking of this is something that even if you've been in business for 30 years, you should be doing, because the markets change. And I have a client that has a luggage business that's been open for 100 years. And they're slowly, like, they're dying out because they haven't kept up, like, you haven't kept, like, the content now is different. You can't just throw Google ads up there and people purchase. Like, people are, because of Amazon, because there's a different way. So I think that this is valuable information for people that have been in business for 100 years or people that are trying to get into business tomorrow. I think validating and looking for what your customers want is the number one thing you should do. Sounds corny, but
no, but it's absolutely true. Yeah. And it's probably one of the most important things that you can do, especially if you're trying to get into a business venture. Where can they find you?
So you can find me at www.solomediagroup.co, or if you do Instagram, John3S, or email john@solomediagroup.co.
And if you want to meet people like John and other people making an impact here in Miami, make sure you visit miaminetworking.com and join us for one of our events. We'll see you guys in the next episode of the Miami Networking Podcast.